Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Tonight, we sip the strong drink in honor of the success that we've been having here in the DFS Sweatshop. We had some really big winners, some guys I'm very proud of, guys that started with me from the very beginning, as well as some guys that just got going. Some newer members are also getting their shine on, man. It's an awesome time to be a part of the DFS Sweatshop, the movement where we are taking the money back from the Sharks. Now, let's go ahead and jump into our regular formatting of the show. But first, let's go ahead. Let's take a sip of the strong drink. Tonight, this is the Hennessy and Red Bull in honor of the winners. Wife's in the room. Got the pipe partner on deck. It's going down tonight. So, let's go ahead and just quick shout outs, man. Just shout out to the homie Will Profit. This is a guy. He is in the DFS Sweatshop, the VIP Exchange Group. Huge slate for him tonight. It kind of gets overwhelming. He had a really nice finish in the quarter arcades. Got a lot of good lineups in there. Actually played really well, and 5 times his buy-in all together. So that was a really good night for the homie Will Profit. Next is a really cool guy, man. W Wright TK. He finished 4th in that 4-point play. Won himself $500. Pretty good outing for him. We saw Nolan Mendoza, the big homie, one of the newer members from the VIP on Facebook. Awesome night for him. 603 was his total winning. Had a really good showing. Finished 8th in the 10K fast break single entry. The guys are getting it. They're putting their money in the right place. Also had some really good finishes in the 3 entry max, the 20K hot shot. I believe placed in all 3 lineups. Really good showing for him. But tonight, the king of the sweatshop, for the second time, this guy has been the king of the sweatshop twice. This goes out to the homie Jeremiah Alexander Severino. The big homie went out, and this is what he says. He says, "Hey Maurice, bro, we doing it out here, man. I put 1 line in the $33 buy-in, 3 lines in the $4 tournament. I was taking down 50K, but the other guy had Klay Thompson and Curry, and all I had was Curry. Not bad, right?" I don't know if you can see that, but that's 26 racks. 26,000 for one of the members of the DFS Sweatshop. Awesome showing for you, Jeremiah Alexander Severino. And tonight, you are the king of the DFS Sweatshop. I have already crowned you. It is set in stone. You are tonight's king of the sweatshop. And it's so good to see these cats win this money, man. These are cats that came over from me from YouTube. Cats that have been down since day one. We are taking our money back, and it's happening one guy at a time. Very awesome night for you, Jeremiah Alexander Severino, and you are, of course, the king of the sweatshop tonight. Awesome showing for you, and that is why we sip the strong drink whenever these guys take down these tournaments. Awesome finish for him. Now, let's go ahead and jump into our regular formatting of the show. We're going to start with our Core 4 review. As you know, every day I let you guys know, the 4 guys I'm going to be starting most of my lineups with. Now, these guys aren't going to be in every lineup, all 4 of them, but I guarantee you there's going to be at least 1 or 2 of them in every lineup. This is my base. This is where I start my lineups at. And the reason why I do this is to show you to do the same thing. It doesn't have to be the same core that I have. I want you to create your own cores. That way we are one unit, one big unit, like a hammer, swinging, chipping away at the entire DFS industry. Because if we stick to our core plays and we don't just roster guys all over the place, then we have a chance for a handful of us to hit every night and take a little bit of that money back piece by piece, as you saw some of the kings in the sweatshop do tonight. Let's go ahead and jump to a review of that. The guy that I really love, my favorite top play on the slate, was Isaiah Thomas. I just love the spot that he was in. I really like the fact that Toronto was going to be on a back-to-back. They were a team that played an overtime game, so I knew it was going to be tough sledding for them to build up that intensity to play a really great game against the Boston Celtics. And they kind of did, though. They surprised me. They played really well. Kyle Lowry honestly played really well. But I got to a point in my roster build, especially my core 4, where I had to hang my hat on a point guard, and it was between Steph Curry, it was between Kyle Lowry, it was between IT2, and I went with IT2 And at 18% ownership, 9.5K was the salary on him. He went out and got 60.5 DraftKings points. An excellent night we saw from him. The next guy we're talking about is going to be a player that I just liked. Sometimes I have to just obey sweatshop laws, and we know that we attack the point guard position against the Atlanta Hawks, and we did that today with Goran Dragic. The game kind of blew out, and if he had saw a full game run, I believe he would have went the fuck off like even more. But at 6% ownership, not a lot of people were on him. He went out 7.4K was the price tag. He brought back 43.75 DraftKings points. That was a very nice showing from Goran Dragic in the core four. Next guy we're going to talk about is going to be Brandon Jennings. Now, I knew he was going to be the chalk, but he was still in a good spot. And it doesn't matter how chalky a guy is. If a guy's in a good spot, he's in a good spot. Sometimes you need chalk to stay with the rest of the field. There's good chalk and there's bad chalk. I'm going to talk about some of that as we move on into the show. But Brandon Jennings at 33% ownership, 5.2K was the salary. He brought back 33.75 DraftKings points. That was a good showing for him in the core four. And the last guy that ruined the core four was Carmelo Anthony at 30% owned. 7.5K was his salary. He only brought back 19.25 DraftKings points, and we had him right where we wanted him on a slate like this, a huge 12-game slate where ownership is not going to be such a major factor in how we do our roster build, because there's just so many players that the ownership is always thinned out unless you've got clear, defined chalk. And throughout the day, Melo was that defined chalk, and I was on him, but I kind of wasn't. But then when I got the news that Kristaps Porzingis was going to be playing, I thought that would take some of the ownership off of Melo's back. He would still go out and perform, and then I would have a chance to separate myself from the rest of the field with that play. That proved to not be the truth. This core four at 5x value would have brought back 148 DraftKings points. This combined core four, because that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to combine these guys, four guys that I can get as close as I can to 6x value. At 5x value, they would have brought back 148 DraftKings points. At 6x value, they would have brought back 177 DraftKings points. Well, this core four finished at 157.75 DraftKings points, about 19 points lower than my expected 6x value, but still a good solid showing from the core four, because we had those phenomenal plays at the top and that one shitty play, which was Carmelo Anthony, at the bottom. So the overall of this core four, if you average it all out, it should have got you, if you used this core four and made some solid picks the way the core four was set up, it should have got you to 265 DraftKings points, which was good to cash in most tournaments, most double ups on a slate like tonight, where the cash line was as low as 250 points in some spots. So this was not a bad core four. We did have a bad apple in the core four, but it was a decent core four, and it proved to keep me from really cashing in tonight. I think I've got just under double my buy-in from this core four and the other plays I made. I made some really sharp plays outside of my core four when it comes to Carmelo Anthony. Norman Powell was a guy that I had in my lineups that really held me back from the cash line, as well as Jonas Valanciunas. I had a lot of lineups that cash with dudes that scored like less than 20 DraftKings points, and that's usually unheard of. Usually, if I have too much of the guys that I had tonight, there's no way I'm cashing. But I did make a solid return on my investment. That's more to play with tomorrow. So let's go ahead and jump into the feature for plays of the night. These are the four most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS sweatshop, in the Facebook VIPs, and as well as on Twitter. We're going to start with the who that's scoring all them points over there play tonight. It's got to go to Salah Mejri. Less than 1% ownership was the ownership on him. 3K minimum salary, bare minimum was the price. He brought back 42.25 DraftKings points. We saw an excellent game from him. The next guy I'm going to talk about is the how did I miss that play tonight? Now, this is a guy that I know, and I'm very fond of this guy. I like his game. I like the way he plays, and I was rostering him all the time when he was around 7K. But once he started to eclipse that 8K price point on DraftKings, I just fell back from him, and I couldn't afford to roster him. And he had a couple of bad games, and the price was still going up depending on the matchup that he was in. Well, we know that this guy once played for the LA Clippers, and every time he plays them, he really gets up. And I knew that. That was a part of my thinking. Why did I not have this guy in my lineups? Totally whiffed on him. We're talking about Eric Bledsoe. 4% was the ownership, so not a lot of people on him at all. 9K was the salary. He was priced up. He brought back 56 DraftKings points. That was a really nice game from him. Actually, right above 6x value. Wonderful, awesome game we saw from him. The next player we're going to talk about is the heat check play tonight. Can only go to one guy, man. Steph motherfucking Curry. This is what we saw from him last year. Last year around this time, he was doing this regularly, but the price was 11K. The price was 10.5. Well, tonight the price was only 8.6, and this dude went out and fucking balled. 3% ownership. If you had him, I'm sure you're standing close to the winner circle. 8.5K, I said, was the price on him. He brought back 68.25 DraftKings points, and tonight we have to talk about that one motherfucker. And this pains me because, as you can see, I am a Knicks fan. You can see I love the New York Knicks. But you know, this gentleman right here is a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass. And I'm gonna tell you, the graveyard, the sweatshop graveyard, is already 3 bodies deep. We 3 bodies deep in the sweatshop graveyard. And brother, you got 1 foot in there. If you so much as misvalue by a point, you, Carmelo Anthony, you're fucking dead to me. You're fucking dead. If you misvalue the next time I roster you by a point, 1 point from 6x value, you're fucking dead to me. And tonight, you a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass. How the fuck you go out at 30% on 7.4K, which you stole from us? You stole that from a third of every motherfucker that put their money in DraftKings and FanDuel tonight. And you bring back 19.25 DraftKings points? Brother, you ran off on the motherfucking plug. And for that, you got 1 foot in the sweatshop grave, and you do it again, and you're fucking dead to me. Now let's move on with the rest of the motherfucking show. Now, since we've got such a huge slate to go over last night, that is something that I got to do. I've got to recap the slates because I don't watch these motherfucking games for no reason. I watch the games so I can come back and report to you what I saw. So we're gonna do a recap. So since we don't have a lot of time, and we know we have a 4-game slate tomorrow, we're gonna be stacking on that. That's what we do. 5 games or less, we stack. We're gonna go ahead and jump into a very quick recap of last night's games. We are gonna start in Orlando, where the Indiana Pacers came to town. Let's go ahead and start on the Indiana side, man, because Paul George, what the fuck was that? 33 minutes. He had 8 points, 7 boards, and 3 assists while shooting 21% from the field. A horrible game we saw from Paul George, and you were very close to being tonight's snowflake. Very close. Thad Young, in his 29 minutes, had 12 and 5 with 1 assist and 3 steals while shooting 54% from the field. Pretty decent game there. Miles Turner, 11 and 3, 2 with 3 boards, 1 steal, and 1 block. And I usually like to roster these motherfuckers. These are people that I usually like to roster, but something was telling me just not to fuck with them today, and I really didn't. CJ Miles, in his return from injury, he played 20 minutes, had 16 points, 4 rebounds. Not a great game here from him. Jeff Teague, 13 and 1 rebound to go with 9 assists while shooting 40% from the field, but he only took 5 shots. In 34 minutes, brother, you take 5 shots. Now, we knew this was going to be a difficult matchup because for some reason, the Orlando Magic are not a great team, but they are really solid against point guard play. Off the bench, we saw Al Jefferson for 16 minutes. He had 10 points, 7 boards, and 3 assists while shooting 57% from the field. And Glenn Robinson Jr. had 14 and 7 on the Orlando side. Really nice game we saw from Nikolai Vucevic. When we did the pre-lock show, he was the guy that I was talking about. I was on him in a lot of spots. He's the one that helped make up for Carmelo Anthony, old snowflake ass. He went out and in 37 minutes had 15 and 15, big double-double for him, 5 assists and 2 steals while shooting 40% from the field, did not hit a three-pointer, and he only hit 3 of 6 from the free throw line. Could have had a much better game. Saw a nice one from Serge Ibaka. In his 35 minutes, he had 20 and 9, with 1 assist, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Elfrid Payton, not a great game from him. In 31 minutes, he had 11 and 6 to go with 3 assists. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game. We're going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers at home against the Minnesota Timberwolves. This was a statement game. This was a statement game. And we talked about this. I sent out some stuff in the VIPs in both groups. Let them know, listen, this guy's going to be the chalk. So he's somebody who I really think you should be on. And that was LeBron James. I really liked the spot that he was in tonight. I liked the narrative that was going on between him and Charles Barkley. I also liked the kid coming back to Cleveland, the team that he was traded away from. I liked a lot about this game. But let's go ahead and start on the Minnesota side, where Andrew Wiggins in his 35 minutes had 23 and 2. Not a great game there from him. We saw Gogi Jang for 20 minutes, and he didn't do shit. 2 points, 6 boards, and 2 assists. Horrible game there from him. Karl Anthony Towns, a nice double-double, 26 points, 12 boards, 4 assists, and 1 steal to go with a couple blocks while shooting 57% from the field, and he did hit 2 of 2 from behind the arc. Zach LaVine is continuing to play bad. Zach LaVine is playing really bad lately. 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Saw a nice game from Ricky Rubio in his 37 minutes. 14 and 2 rebounds, scored 13 assists and a block while shooting 45% from the field. And Shabazz Muhammad in 30 minutes had 16 and 6 to go with 2 assists and 1 steal. On the Cleveland side, you could have stacked the shit out of this Cleveland side. And that's something that I usually do. But for some reason tonight, with so many players on the slate, I just didn't get around to really digging into that roster and stacking a lot of guys. But we saw some really nice games, man. Tristan Thompson is what really stuck out to me. 18 and 14 with 1 assist and 1 steal with 2 blocks. I had him nowhere. That was a very sharp play for those of you that started Tristan Thompson. LeBron James, 27 points, 8 boards, 12 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. And he was definitely on the triple-double watch, but he didn't really make it happen. Channing Frye, in his 21 minutes, had 18 and 4 with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Saw a decent game from Kyrie Irving. Now, he was on fire. This is blue ball territory because he was lit. The first quarter, 22 points. The first half, 33. He was lit. And then just tailed off and really didn't do much in the second half. He finished with 14 points, 2 rebounds, 14 assists, and 1 steal while shooting 27% from the field. Horrible shooting percentage there for Kyrie Irving, and I think that's what stood in the way of him having that excellent game. Kyle Korver finally had his first 20-point game with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He had 1 rebound and 2 assists in his 24 minutes to go with those 20 points. Also, he did block 1 shot while shooting 72% from the field and hit 4 of 7 from behind the arc. And this is the kind of games that Korver is going to have. He is a sharpshooter. He's going to have these kind of games sometime. You just got to be willing to roster him enough to cash in on that. Iman Shumpert even had a good game. 9 points, 7 boards, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 2 blocks in 27 minutes for him. That's good for that price point. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Boston Celtics at home against the Toronto Raptors. Like we said, man, this team is coming off of on the second leg of a back-to-back, have been playing a ton of games in the last few days. I didn't have too much exposure to any of them. I thought the one guy that I could get away with stealing and rostering was going to be Norman Powell. And in 32 minutes, he had 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Not a great game there for him at all. We saw Patrick Patterson with 20 minutes. He had 10 and 3. DeMar Carroll, 6 and 6 with an assist and a steal. Kyle Lowry was actually the player of this game, and he had 32 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals while shooting 60% from the field, and he hit 4 of 11 from behind the arc. Not a great 3-point shooting game, but still, also altogether, a really nice 46-point DraftKings performance. We saw Jared Sullinger, 15 minutes for him. He had 13 and 6 to go with 1 assist. Pretty decent game there. And Baby Nogueira, in his 28 minutes, had 10 and 5 to go with a steal and 4 blocks. Jonas Valanciunas only played 11 fucking minutes. And we should have known, coming off a back-to-back, he was not going to see that many minutes. And those are the things that frustrate me, because these are things that I know as a everyday NBA DFS player. These are things that I know. These are situations that I know to avoid. But when you get swept up in the hype of a player and what he did the last game, last time he scored 50 against him. Well, last time he wasn't coming he wasn't on a back-to-back. That's just what that was, man. Let's go ahead and look at him on the Boston side. Jay Crowder did not make a solid return on that 6.2K. 14 points, 8 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal. Not a great game there from him. Al Horford didn't play a great one either. 11 and 3 to go with 6 assists and 1 steal while shooting 30% from the field. Not great. He also took 5 3-point shots and only hit 1 of them. That's not what he needs to do. Isaiah Thomas dropped 44 points. This dude is fucking matchup proof. He is one of the best players in the game in the fourth quarter. 44 points, 4 boards, 7 assists, 54% from the field, hit 5 of 12 threes, and got to the line 16 times while converting on 15 of those. Really great game we saw from Isaiah Thomas. And Marcus Smart, 10 and 5 to go with 5 assists and 2 steals. Really nice game we saw from him. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Brooklyn Nets taking on my New York Knicks. Let's go ahead and jump to the Knicks, man, because this is shit. I mean, they won the game, but this is a lot of horrible play in this game. Carmelo Anthony, 26 minutes he played. Did not even touch the court in the fourth quarter. He got benched. Let's just be real about it. He got benched. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal while shooting 6 of 22 from the field for 27%. Took 6 3-pointers, only hit 1. Got to the line 3 times. This dude does not attack the basket. When did I think about it? When have you ever seen Carmelo Anthony lay it up? Just a layup. This motherfucker shoot jumpers in the paint. Always fading away, pulling up. Go to the motherfucking basket, man. You 6'9". Snowflake ass motherfucker. Kristaps Porzingis in his first game back after that injury, 19 and 12 with 1 assist and 2 blocks. Now, see, we all wanted to roster him last time. We was like, yeah, I think Kristaps is ready. We want to play him, and then he doesn't play. They take him out. He can't play. So then tonight when he comes in, we're not gonna play him. We're not gonna play him. He should have played last time. Bullshit, man. The Knicks are one of the most infuriating teams to be associated with. And just think, you deal with them on a DFS level. I'm an actual fan of these motherfuckers. This shit is hard, bro. Hard. Never seen them win. 4 overtimes. Brandon Jennings, man, didn't score a lot, didn't grab a lot of boards, but he did have 10 assists and get 5 steals, being a really good defensive presence. This dude made 1 fucking field goal the entire game. 1 for 11. 9.1% was his shooting percentage. 0 for 4 from behind the arc. Horrible shooting game from Brandon Jennings, but he just played so many fucking minutes that he did rack up some steals and some assists. Horrible game we saw from him, man. Willie Hernangomez was actually the brightest spot in this game. The dude was still very cheap, 3.9K, goes out and scores 16 points, grabs 16 boards, had 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block in 25 minutes. Let the fucking man play. This dude should be Kristaps, Hernangomez, Rose, and or Jennings, and Melo should be the starting 5. This is crazy. Sasha Vujacic even got 22 minutes and had 12 points and 2 rebounds and a block. Craziness we saw there. On the Brooklyn Nets side, not a great game we saw from Brook Lopez. A lot of people were on him, man. I really wasn't. In 31 minutes, he had 10 points, 6 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block, shooting 36% from the field. Not a great game there. Rondae Hollis Jefferson was actually the play from this game. He had 16 and 8 with 3 assists and 1 block, and we knew we were going to see a high amount of defensive usage for him because he was going to be covering Melo. He played 29 minutes. Karis LeVert, 10 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. Pretty good game there. Trevor Booker came off of the bench in 16 minutes and had 12 and 8 with 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Don't really understand what that means, if there was just a Carmelo thing or if Trevor Booker did some shit and he's not going to be starting anymore. We need to keep pace with that, check up on that. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Miami Heat at home against the Atlanta Hawks. Man, Hawks are stinking it up right now. They're stinking it up right now. I mean, of course, they beat us in 4 overtimes, but they're stinking it up against other teams. Tim Hardaway Jr. got the start in place of Thabo Sefolosha. He had 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in 26 minutes. Not a great game there. Dwight Howard, 6 and 11 with an assist, a steal, and 2 blocks. Not a great game there. Kent Bazemore is dead to me, but he did get 14 points, dish out 1 dime, grabbed 2 steals and a block in his 23 minutes. Dennis Schroeder stank up the joint, 12 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists to go with the steal. And Mike Dunleavy had 11 and 6 in his 19 minutes. Not a great game there from him. On the Miami side, so a really nice one for Hassan Whiteside. He kind of bounced back with a big double-double, 18 and 18 with 1 steal and 2 blocks. Pretty nice game we saw from him. Goran Dragic, we talked about him already, 27 points. He led the team in scoring, had 5 assists and 5 rebounds as well to go with a steal. And Dion Waiters in 29 minutes had 20 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Dion Waiters is a thing. He is a thing. And as long as if he's under 7K, I'm going to roster him from now on. That's just what it is. James Johnson in 23 minutes had 16 and 2 with 3 assists and 1 steal and 3 blocks. Pretty good game we saw from him. The next game I'm going to talk about, Detroit Pistons at home against the New Orleans Pelicans. Anthony Davis, man, I fuck around and snuck him in a couple of lineups, and he really didn't disappoint. There's a few times during the year where I can just sneak in and roster him a couple of times. I don't normally give him too much play, but he played 40 fucking minutes, led the team in minutes, had 31 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 4 blocks. And whenever like the circumstances are right, I will roster him. He dropped like 50 real life points against this team last year and scored that's when he scored at 90 something points. So I had to take him up on this tonight. Solomon Hill 9 and 4 with 1 assist, not a great game there. Drew Holiday has continued his really nice play, which I didn't think was going to happen. This is a surprise to me, pleasant surprise actually, because in 35 minutes he had 22 points, dished out 11 assists, blocked the shot, grabbed 2 steals, and also 3 rebounds. Pretty good game we saw from him. On the Detroit Pistons side, KC motherfucking P. Dude went out and dropped 38 fucking points. Had 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 4 steals, shooting 66% from the field, 8 for 11 from three, and got to the line 8 times and converted 6 of them into points. Man, that was a really nice showing we saw from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and I just liked them all day long. Did have them in a couple spots, which actually helped me to recoup some of that buy-in and make a little bit fucking around with Carmelo Anthony Mitchell's snowflake ass. Now, Tobias Harris, 19 and 8 off of the bench. Also had 4 assists, 1 steal, shooting 69% from the field. Ish Smith had 15 and 3 to go with 7 assists, and I'm just about to give up on Reggie Jackson. I don't think Reggie Jackson is the same Reggie Jackson. This can't be, because he played 20 minutes. He had 6 points and 3 assists, and didn't really do shit else. I think Reggie Jackson's time as somebody who was near and dear to my heart, because I have the heart of a point guard. So I think his time has passed. You are now separated from me, Reggie Jackson. I will not be fucking with you anymore. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Dallas Mavericks at home against the Philadelphia 76ers. This was a game that we all thought had a lot of fantasy goodness associated with it. Turns out, not so much on the Philadelphia side. Ersan Ilyasova was probably the best play from this game. 31 minutes for him. He had 13 and 10 to go with 1 assist, shooting 44% from the field, hit 1 of 4 3-pointers. Jahlil Okafor scored 16 real-life points, but he only grabbed a rebound and had an assist. We need more from you if you're going to be starting there, Jahlil Okafor. We need much more. The Wahoo Cabot dude got the start, which I don't know why. Start Dario fucking Saric. 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists for him. Not a great game there. Saric did play 24 minutes. He had 10 and 7 with 2 assists and 1 steal while shooting 33% from the field. Not a great game for him. Didn't see much Nerlens Noel. In 17 minutes, he had 8 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Not a great game there. Gerald Henderson played 24 minutes and he had 10 points, 3 rebounds. He had 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Also a block to go with that. It says here that I need to plug up something. 1 second. Right. So on the Dallas Mavericks side, not a great game we saw from Harrison Barnes, man. 15 and 7 to go with 1 assist and 2 steals, shooting 46% from the field. We could have saw a better game from him. Also, we had Seth Curry, man. Lil bruh shot the lights out, man. 22 points, 3 boards, 6 assists with 4 steals. Pretty good game from him. We also saw Devin Harris, 14 and 1 to go with 3 assists. Pretty decent game at his price point. But Salah Mejri, man, was an excellent play in this game. Minimum salary, played 21 minutes. He had 16 points, 17 boards, 1 steal, and 1 block while shooting 77% from the field. And this was just a simple, there's no good big on the floor, so I'm just going to gobble up all the fucking rebounds. And that's exactly what he did. Yogi Ferrell started off very slow, but he ended up playing 37 minutes. And when a guy plays that much minutes, he's good. He's bound to make value. He had 11 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal. Also had a block, shooting 23% from the field. Did not hit a three-pointer, even though he took 4 of them. And he hit 5 of 5 free throws and converted those into points. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Denver Nuggets at home against the Memphis Grizzlies. Man, this game didn't develop enough for it to be a really great game for some of the usual suspects on the Memphis Grizzlies side. We only had to see 24 minutes of Marc Gasol in order for them to really blow this team out and the game just be over. 24 points for him, 5 boards, 3 assists, and 1 block was a really nice game there. Mike Conley had 18 and 4 to go with 5 assists and 1 steal. We saw a lot off the bench though. 14 and 5 to go with 2 assists for Zach Randolph. Vince Carter had 14 and 5 and 6 assists also in his 26 minutes. And James Ennis had 13 and 6 in his 19 minutes. So we didn't have to see a lot from the starters from the Memphis side in order to beat the Denver Nuggets. They just didn't come ready to play, man. And this is a different team without Nikola Jokic, a much different team. Danilo Gallinari in his 29 minutes had 14 and 3 to go with 2 assists. Not a great game there. Kenneth Faried did double-double in 27 minutes. He had 11 and 11 with 1 assist and 1 steal. Pretty nice game there. Emmanuel Mudiay made his first game back from injury, 14 and 6 to go with 7 assists in his 25 minutes. And Darrell Arthur had 14 and 5 while shooting 41% from the field in his 15 minutes. Not a great game there for him. Next, we're going to talk about the Utah Jazz at the crib, taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Horrible game for the Bucks. I was not on Giannis all day long. Just was not a play that I thought I had to make on a slate like this. I just knew that when it came to paying up in certain spots for the studs, I just didn't think that I was going to have to roster him. I really didn't, and I didn't. So let me straighten out this little technical difficulties real quick. There we are. We should be back in action. Now, didn't really think I was going to see the game that I would need to see from Giannis Antetokounmpo to justify that salary. I mean, he was up above 10K, and I just didn't feel that. 9 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal in 38 minutes. Not a great game there at all. He shot 2 of 10 from the field, did not hit a 3-point shot. Bad game for him. Jabari Parker, 17 and 7 to go with 1 steal and 1 block, and Don Maker had 12 and 5 to go with 1 steal and 3 blocks in his 24 minutes. Didn't see much Greg Monroe. 23 minutes, he had 13 and 3 to go with 1 assist and 2 steals. Malcolm Brogdon played 30 minutes off of the bench, had 10 and 3 to go with 4 assists and 3 steals. Just not a good game at all from anybody on the Milwaukee side. On the Utah side, we finally saw Gordon Hayward jump out of that slump that he's been in. He had a really nice game, 32 minutes for him, 27 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, shooting 61% from the field and hit 3 of 6 3-pointers. He did miss a couple of free throw shots, 8 for 10, but that's still good. Still a good game we saw from him. Really nice one we saw from Rudy Gobert. The guys in the sweatshop were on him all day long. And he went out 34 minutes, had 26 points, 15 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block, shooting 69% from the field, 8 for 10 from the free throw line. Really nice game we saw from him. Joe Johnson, in his 27 minutes, had 14 and 6, took with 5 assists. Nice game we saw from Joe Johnson. This game we're going to talk about is the Phoenix Suns at the crib, taking on the LA Clippers, man. We saw some really nice games in this one. A really good one we saw from Blake Griffin. 29 points, led the team in scoring. 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. He's back. He's back. We're just waiting on Chris Paul. When Chris Paul gets back, this is going to be totally different. We can roster these guys nightly. Really great game we saw from him. He's in condition. He's fine. I like him. I like him going down the stretch. Jamal Crawford off of the bench, 14 and 3 to go with 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block while shooting 45% from the field. That was pretty good. Raymond Felton, he did get a start. 30 minutes for him. He had 18 and 5 with 1 assist while shooting 50% from the field. DeAndre Jordan, he did grab 12 boards, but with Blake Griffin out, there's just no point in him shooting the ball. If Blake Griffin is there and Chris Paul is not, there's no point in rostering DeAndre Jordan because nobody's going to get him the ball. He's not going to be an offensive option. He's going to grab some rebounds, but he's going to score 6 points. And he's going to have 2 assists, 2 steals, and maybe 4 blocks from time to time. So I won't be rostering him as long as Blake Griffin is there and Chris Paul is not. On the Phoenix side, and we talked about the how did I miss that player tonight? Eric Bledsoe, man, went out balled. 41 points. I had 4 rebounds, 8 assists while shooting 59% from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and he got to the line 15 times. Converted 13 of those tries into points. Really nice game we saw from him. Even off of the bench, man, was where we really saw some value. PJ Tucker, 33 minutes. He had 10 points, 14 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. He only shot 33% from the field, but he did hit 2 of 3 3-point shots. Really nice game there from him. Didn't see much from Tyson Chandler, 11 and 4 to go shoot from 100% from the field, 5 for 5. But he had 1 of 2 from the free throw line, but he just didn't rebound the basketball. Only played 27 minutes. Wasn't a really great game there from him. Devin Booker had 20 points, 4 boards, and 6 assists, but the price was up on him a little bit. And there was no reason to roster him with that 7K salary. It just wasn't. TJ Warren disappointed, 28 minutes for him. He had 8 points and 3 boards while shooting 50% from the field. Not a great game there. Next game, we're going to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder at the crib taking on the Chicago Bulls. We're going to start on the Bulls side, where this was shaping up to be a monumental performance for Jimmy Butler, but he just sat so much of the late third and early and fourth quarter that he just really couldn't, crush value the way that we all were expecting him to once the game really got going. He ended up playing 29 minutes, 28 points, 4 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, while shooting 64% from the field and 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Taj Gibson only played 21 minutes. He had 8 and 8 to go with a block. Robin Lopez scored 14 points in his 20 minutes, also had 2 rebounds and a block. And Dwayne Wade had 18, 7, and 7 to go with 2 assists while shooting 58% from the field, 4 for 4 from the line. Pretty good game there. And Jerry Grant, 12 and 3 to go with 3 assists in his 26 minutes. Did not see much from Rajon Rondo, did not score a point, did not grab a rebound, but he did dish out 6 assists and had 1 steal. He only played 16 minutes. What can you expect with that? On the Oklahoma City side, not a great game we saw from Russell Westbrook as far as fantasy is concerned. He had 28 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block, shooting 43% from the field, 2 for 7 from behind the arc, and 6 of 8 when it came to the free throws. Not a great game there for him at all. Domantas Sabonis stank up the joint. 22 minutes for him, and he played late in the fourth quarter and got a lot of run against the second, third team of the Chicago Bulls and still couldn't do shit. Like this dude's not that good. He's just not that good. And I don't think he's gonna be that good. That's just how I feel about it. Vic Oladipo, 24 minutes. He had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, shooting 35% from the field. And Jimmy Butler pretty much had him clamped the entire night. Like he was in foul trouble, fucking with Jimmy early. Like there was nothing he could do. He was just outclassed and overmatched. The next game we're gonna talk about is the last game on the slate, the Golden State Warriors at the crib, taking on the Charlotte Hornets, and this was a drubbing. This game was over after tip-off. I mean, Golden State Warriors just jumped on their motherfucking ass. I'm talking about Dale Curry was in the house. Uh, you know, he must have heard his brother was shooting it out, and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna just show these motherfuckers who the best Curry is." Upstaged everybody. I mean, Steph went the fuck off. This was last year's Steph. This was I want people to know who I am, Steph. This is just got off the bus from Davidson, Steph. I mean, he was knocking them fucking down, bro. It was ridiculous the way he was shooting the ball. This is like he did last year. But we're gonna start on the Charlotte Hornets side, where Marvin Williams in 30 minutes had 14 and 5 with 1 assist. We saw a fairly decent game from Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Could have been better if the game was closer. He only played 22 minutes, but he had 8 points, 9 boards, 1 assist, while shooting 36% from the field. Frank Kaminsky actually led his team in scoring because there was so much scrub love to go around for these Charlotte motherfuckers that it was just ridiculous. Frank Kaminsky, 23 minutes for him. He had 24 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. And I think this entire team was gassed. Like everybody that's on the roster had a chance to play tonight because it was just such a blowout, except Roy Hibbert. Like everybody on the Charlotte team got a chance. I mean, I was seeing guys I didn't even know was on the fucking team. Like who the fuck is Christian Wood? Well, he played 6 minutes. He had 4 points, 1 board, and 1 block while shooting 1 for 1 from the field, 100%. Shout out to you, Christian Wood. Didn't see saw a pretty good game from Marco Bellinelli. 30 minutes for him. He had 16 and 2 to go with 7 assists and 1 steal. That was very decent at his price point. On the Golden State Warriors side, this was another offense that could have been stacked tonight. This and the Cleveland offense could have definitely been stacked tonight. We're talking about Kevin Durant, 32 minutes. He had 18 points, 8 boards, 8 assists, 1 steal, shooting 41% from the field, 1 for 7 from 3. Not a great shooting game from behind the arc. JaVale McGee got the start in place of Jaja Pachulia. He only played 17 minutes, but he scored quickly. He had 9 points, 4 boards, and 4 blocks, really, really quick, and sat down and just let them do the rest of the work. Steph Curry finished with 39 points. He had 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, 14 for 20, 70% from the field, hit 11 of 15 three-point shots. The dude was in another world tonight. Klay Thompson also played really good. 33 minutes, he led the team in those. He had 29 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block while shooting 52% from the field and knocked down 6 of 10 three-point shots. Really good game there. Draymond Green had a nice one, I think, too. 8 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 4 blocks while shooting 30% from the field and 2 for 7 from behind the arc. Now that we've gone over a quick recap of last night's games, let's go ahead and jump into the player pricing for tomorrow's 4-game slate. Now, you know this is a stack slate. This is where If there was any slates that I would advise you if you didn't feel like it to take a night off, it would be a night like tonight because I mean, there's just not that much to choose from. I like it like this. It narrows my view, narrows my player pool. I get to hit on guys that I wouldn't normally hit because if this is a 12 game slate, I'm not gonna roster Salah Mejri. Well, guess what? Tomorrow, you're gonna have a chance to roster tomorrow's Salah Mejri because you're gonna be stacking. You're gonna find an offense that you like, and you're gonna stack the shit out of it. So let's go ahead and open it up. Take a swig of strong drink. Well, I may as well show you my best drafting lineup while we got it open. And it's just so that you can know the guys I'm talking about are the guys I'm playing. All right, let's go ahead. I did not hit 300 club tonight, but my very best DraftKings lineup was here. It was one of the lineups that I avoided because, like I said, I don't put the same guys in every lineup for my core four. But this one had some core four guys in it, definitely. We had Isaiah Thomas, we had Brandon Jennings, and Goran Dragic here. Now, I had Carmelo Anthony in the small forward spot, but I wanted to pay up to LeBron James because I just felt like I needed a little bit more star power. So I paid down here to Norman Powell. I paid down from the center spot all the way to JaVale McGee to maybe get that late night hammer. A guy that I thought I could steal a quick double for cheap for 3K. I paid down there and I paid all the way up to LeBron James, who served to be a really good move. I should have did that everywhere. Should have did it everywhere. This lineup, I had it in a few different spots. Had it in some single entry tournaments, which really proved to be good. Cashed out in all of those. And this is the lineup that kind of really paid for all of those, the shitty Carmelo Anthony's and the Norman Powells who played like shit, and the Jonas Valanciunas lineups that weren't very good. So, and it's like that sometimes, and that's why you got to play those single entry tournaments. You've got to. So let's go ahead and jump into the player pricing. Oh, and just so you believe that, like I did, like I got Miller everywhere. Like he's everywhere. I love them. I love them. You ruined this lineup. You see Isaiah Thomas. You see Goran Dragic. You see Carmelo Anthony. This lineup finished at 268. It did cash because I had people like Nikolai Vucevic in this lineup. I had Gordon Hayward, who I liked. Rodney Hood got hurt. You saw injury from him. That really killed this lineup. But man, Melo, he fucked up a lot of good shit tonight. It could have been very nice. I made some solid picks outside of Carmelo Anthony and Norman Powell. Guys that really fucked me up in a lot of spots. The wonderful thing was there was so many blowouts that the cash line wasn't as high as it normally is. So I was able to cash in quite a few spots. So let's go ahead and check this out. Open this up here. Now look, we got 4 games starting at 7, right? We got 4 games starting at 7. You know what I'm gonna tell you. You know what I'm gonna say. You watch the show every night. You know what I'm saying. We got a 2-game turbo, a 2-game late. Make a lineup here. Make a lineup here. Throw them bitches in the main. Stack something here. Stack something here. Throw it in the main. Just do it. It's gonna work for you. I promise. Here we go. So already you can tell the highest salary guy is going to be James Harden. We already know that. You know that going in. Okay, so we got James Harden, 12.4K. Houston stack. Yes. Just stack Houston. Just do it. Stack Houston. John Wall going up against the LA Lakers. Stack Washington. Stack Washington. Kevin Durant against the LA Clippers. I don't think you're going to have to stack either one of those. I think that's where you can get your one-offs at. You can get your one-offs from there. You don't have to stack those guys. You can get a one-off from LA or from the Clippers or from Golden State. But I like Kevin Durant tomorrow in this matchup. Kawhi Leonard, not really too enthused about that. I think that could be a blowout and get away from them real quick unless we know if you see Joel Embiid. Steph Curry, 8.7. He's shooting the lights out right now. Embiid is out, but he's probably going to be playing tomorrow. I think he's going to play tomorrow. Draymond Green, also part of your Golden State stack. You got Paul Millsap at 7.8. I don't like them. I don't like Atlanta. I just don't like anything about Atlanta. And this game could blow out. This game against Houston could blow out really quick, so you got to be careful about that. DeAndre Jordan, 7.4. That's a no for me. Blake Griffin, yes, at 7.7. Brad Beal, I like him in a Washington stack, definitely. Dwight Howard, even LA stack might not be very bad either. Markieff Morris, 6.8. Yeah, I like him. Klay Thompson, I don't like him so much tomorrow. Aldridge, yes. Porter, yes. Schroeder, yes, I like Schroeder tomorrow. Austin Rivers, no. Robert Covington probably won't. We won't see him tomorrow. Probably. Julius Randle. He was only sick. He probably is going to play in this one, and I like him if he does play. Martin Gortat. I like him at 6K if he does play. I mean, if even if Julius Randle plays, I still like Martin Gortat tomorrow. Nerlens Noel. No. Ilyasova. No. D'Angelo Russell. Yes, he's in play for me tomorrow. Lou Williams. No for me. T.J. McConnell. Yes, in play for me. Kent Bazemore is dead to me. Ryan Anderson, of course, he's in play. J.J. Redick, yes, he's in play. David Lee, I kind of like him tomorrow. So we've got some really, really, really good plays here and really nice stacks. I can't wait to see the point totals to see exactly what we're working with and see where we can invest most of our DraftKings salary. And just know that that's what we're doing tomorrow. We are going to be stacking. Um, the Zubac guy can be definitely in a Lakers stack at 3.9K. The price is up on him just a touch, but I don't think that's enough to really make a big difference. Um, hmm. Pachulia is probably going to be out tomorrow. We're going to see some more JaVale McGee, so that's definitely somebody that you could look at rostering tomorrow. Okay, let's go ahead and pull up those point totals so that we can see where we're going to be investing our salaries, our DraftKings salaries here. All right. Now there's only 4 games on the slate. So like I said, if you feel like you need to take a day off, man, tomorrow probably a good one. I ain't can't stop, won't stop. I'm going in. I'm gonna be stacking my ass off tomorrow. And we're gonna start with a 218 point total. This is the Washington Wizards at home against the LA Lakers. The funny thing about this is the Lakers are favored by 11 points. I mean, excuse me, the Washington Wizards are favored by 11 points. I don't think the Wizards are good enough to give nobody 11 points. I don't think so, even at home. So I think this is a game that you could stack easily. This is game stack potential for me because the Washington Wizards, last time I checked, they ain't that great. They ain't that great a team. Now this team is the Lakers coming off a really good game out last time. We saw D'Angelo Russell. We see that he is back to full strength. He's ready to go. I think you can look at him if you want to go. You can definitely go 4 deep on the Washington side. I'm talking Beal, Wall, Gortat, Markieff Morris. The only guy I kind of don't like that much is Otto Porter. He hasn't been playing well lately, and probably the best defender on the LA Lakers side is going to be the old man, Luol Deng. So he's not somebody who I would like. If you want to go deeper than that to the bench, then you can look at people like maybe Trey Burke. You can look at get the screen straight. From time to time. You might be able to look at somebody like Trey Burke. Jason Smith could be somebody that you take a look at if you want to look at the Washington Wizards bench. I don't think I'll be going that deep into a stack with them, or I don't think I'll be using some of their like cheap bench guys as a one-off because they just don't have that much upside to me. So that's where I'm at on the Washington side. But on the Lakers side, you can go a little deeper on this one because the Lakers bench is actually the strength of the team. So if you want to, go 4 deep on the Lakers side, 4 or 5 deep on the Lakers side, you definitely could do that. It's a 218 point total. It's the third highest point total on the slate, but it's not a low total by any means. You can go D'Angelo Russell. You can go Randall. You can go Zubac. You can go Clarkson. You can go Sweet Lou Williams. Like there's quite a few guys on the Lakers side that you could roster in this game. And the Washington Wizards ain't no defensive-minded team anyway. So I think you could. This is definitely a really nice game stack. The first one on the slate, I think it's a good one. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Atlanta Hawks going to Houston to take on the Rockets. First, there's been times during the season on these short slates like this where if you just stack the Houston starting 5, you win all the money. and that could happen tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to be doing in some spots. I'm talking straight 5-man stack. Whoever is starting for the Houston side, I'm gonna have all 5 of them motherfuckers in the lineup, and you can do that. You can do that. Uh, as far as the Houston bench, you got your usual suspects: Sam Decker, you got Eric Gordon over there, Corey Brewer, who I don't want a piece of. On the Atlanta side, there's not too much that I really like. The one thing about this game that's kind of intriguing is this is Dwight Howard returning to Houston. So he's going to get some booze, probably going to want to block some shots, grab some boards, and play a little bit. If we can get him in a mode of want to, where he actually wants to go out and play well, that's something that could happen. And the price is kind of down on him. He's not, 8K or nothing like that. He's right around 7K. So I think we can definitely look to Dwight Howard tomorrow as if we're going to roster somebody on the Atlanta Hawks side. Also, if we don't see Talbot or Velosha again, you can look to Tim Hardaway Jr. I think he's going to be a solid play. Schroeder does deserve consideration. Patrick Beverly defense has not been what it has been in the past lately, so I think we can definitely look to him. Next game I'm going to talk about is the San Antonio Spurs at home against the Philadelphia 76ers. So the Philadelphia 76ers are carrying their ass to San Antonio, and they ain't carrying none of my money with them because I don't like anything about the Philadelphia 76ers in this game. I just don't. They're so bad. They're gonna be so bad tomorrow against San Antonio Spurs that I don't even want to roster any Spurs because I don't think I'm gonna see a full allotment of minutes for the guys that I really want to roster for the San Antonio Spurs. Most notably, Kawhi Leonard. I don't think we see much Kawhi tomorrow. I don't think we're gonna have to see much Kawhi tomorrow. They easily blow the doors off of this team. If you want to look at some cheap plays, maybe to get some scrub love, you can go to guys on the San Antonio side like Bertans. You can go to Dwayne Dedman, of course. Maybe some Patty Mills if you like. Maybe Jonathan Simmons can be a decent play for you. But as far as the starters go, man, I'm not starting anybody from the starting side on the San Antonio side of the ball. Philadelphia side, Robert Covington is not going to be playing. Probably he's got a hand issue. So you've got like Dario Saric, you've got Ersan Ilyasova, you've got T.J. McConnell, Nick Stauskas. None of these guys I really feel is gonna have great games. That's why I'm probably gonna stay away from both starting sides of this game. And all the starters in this game, I'm probably not gonna have any. I'm gonna if I'm stacking and I've got some really good stacks on the other teams, like complete offenses that I like, but I have just enough left, and I see a San Antonio guy that's kind of cheap, one of the bench guys. I'm gonna look at him then. I'm gonna look at it then. But I'm not gonna go into my roster build saying, "Hey man, I need some San Antonio guys," because it's only a 209.5 point total. It's the lowest point total on the slate. Not only is it the lowest point total on the slate, it's the biggest spread on the slate. So that means that we're going to see a lot of scoring from one side, which is going to be the San Antonio side. And it's probably not going to be starter base. It's going to be a lot of the guys off of the bench getting into the action. So that's where I think you should look on the San Antonio side. The next game we're going to talk about, and the last game on the slate, this game does play at 10:30. So we've got 2 hours from the 8:30 game in San Antonio up until the 10:30 game in LA as the Golden State Warriors travel there to take on the Clippers. It's a 224.5 point total. It is the highest point total on the slate, 2.5 points above the Atlanta-Houston game. You've got the Golden State Warriors coming off on a back-to-back. Be careful about some injury or rest concerns that might go down there. I don't think so. I think they can beat the LA Clippers fairly handily. I don't think it's going to be a huge blowout like we saw tonight with the Charlotte Hornets going to the Oracle, but I do think the game is going to be over not too far into the fourth quarter. With that being said, can you get full Curry points in this time with how hot he's been shooting the ball? Yeah. Can you get Klay Thompson points? And because Klay gets a lot of run in blowouts, especially if it's a blowout, but the team is kind of still in it. They keep him out there to make sure that they don't put a run together. So I do like Klay Thompson tomorrow. Draymond Green is going to be a person of interest for me as well. On the LA Clippers side, I think Blake Griffin is definitely in play for me. I like JJ Redick to roll off some screens and knock down some shots in a little mini LA Clippers stack with maybe the coach's son or somebody like Mo Buckets, because we know he used to play for Golden State Warriors. They may want to give him some run. Doc Rivers is a real vindictive dude like that, man. And he'll give Mo Buckets some run just for the simple fact that the Golden State Warriors are coming to Staples to take on the LA Clippers. So Lot to like about this game. Lot to like about this slate. I think it's going to be a good one, a really good stack slate. We're going to be dropping of course, our spreadsheets, our stack sheets for these games tomorrow as well. Man, great night in the sweatshop. Once again, shout out to all the winners, man. The big homie, man, Jeremiah Alexander Severino, man. Nice, nice. Pay your taxes, brother, because you know they're gonna be coming for that money. A really, 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 really good night for everybody that won in the sweatshop. I'm very proud of y'all. Very proud to be a part of this thing, man. This has been your DFS Jerusalem. You are here in the DFS sweatshop. For those of you that hit the 300 club, salute to you. Those that didn't, keep on trying. Bankroll management is the key. 10% of your buy-in on a slate you really like. 5% if you're not really completely sure. On short slates, I go 5%. That's what I'll be doing tomorrow. But man, just really wanted to thank you all for being a part of the movement and blessing the movement from day one. If you would like to support the show further, remember you're already supporting the show. But if you want to support the show a little bit further, there's a box over there. It says support the show. Click that box. Go and make it do what it do. You can also join the dfssweatshop.com family. Come on in and be a part of the family, man. It's www.dfssweatshop.com. That's where you will receive everything that we have to offer. The most valuable tool that we do issue, aside from our core 4 roster building strategy, is a network of guys that are winners and know how to win. Guys that are new and learning how to win. So no matter what phase you come into this thing, man, there's people that's just like you trying to do exactly what you're doing. That's the most awesome thing about the DFS Sweatshop community. I'm your host, of course, the DFS Jerusalem. Follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. And the number one thing I want you to do, I want you to keep it 300. I'm out.